Ding dong, the witch is retired. Let's talk about the Iron Bowl, baby.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh?
Doing pretty good. I'm always up for a little Iron Bowl talk. I'm just excited for this.
Oh man, I think we've been looking for this. We've been looking forward to this preview since we started these game predictions. I honestly think that we did all the other game predictions so we could get to this point and talk about this Iron Bowl, not just any Iron Bowl, but the Nick Saban-less Iron Bowl. Don't get us wrong. We both can have quite a bit of appreciation for the fact that Nick Saban was an amazing coach, and we cannot undervalue that. He really was amazing, and I cannot fault him for wanting to retire heading into the NIL, period here in NCAA football. But I don't care anymore. He's not here. Man, are we going to have a good Iron Bowl? I don't know. I hope so. We're going to talk about it in this episode. We've been keeping all of our previous videos around the 5-minute mark. I don't think we're going to hit that here. We're going to try to keep it as short as possible, but most of our viewers know that we can be a little long-winded sometimes, specifically me. But before we jump into this preview, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you are notified every time we drop a new video, because we got a lot of them coming, especially with the season ramping up. But let's go ahead and remind the people what we picked previously to this game. Right now, we have us heading into this game 8-3, which I think a lot of Auburn fans would be stoked for this record. But you, Josh, you have us winning 9 games with only 2 losses coming on the road to 2 top 10 teams, which puts us at a very high standard, if you ask me. I hope you're right, Josh. I hope I am wrong. I hope we have won far more games than what either one of us are actually predicting, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's not the one we're talking about. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the 2024 Iron Bowl. Wait a second. Sorry, some technical difficulty. Is that Nick? That's Nick Saban on the screen. Sorry, Alabama fans.
Look at him waving goodbye. He's waving goodbye.
And in comes Kalen DeBoer from your Washington Huskies. Absolutely, positively, just terrible. Just
terrible. Just terrible.
Oh man, I am so excited for DeBoer to be here coaching for this Crimson Tide team. And you know what? Hey, I'm okay if I end up being wrong and he ends up being a great coach. But I do love making fun of him, and I always will.
Okay with it.
I
hope he fails.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think they'll be fine this year. I think Alabama, we talked about it in our in a number of our past videos. We brought up the Crimson Tide for this year, and I think they're going to be in a pretty good spot considering the fact that Kalen DeBoer is an offensive-minded coach, and he has Jalen Milroe, one of the top 3 for us to definitely a top 3 quarterback in this league, and I think he's going to be coming into his own a lot this year. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what we think is going to happen in this year's game. Josh, hit me with some facts, man. Let's talk about
this. This is what I think. I think that record you have posted down there, Kalen DeBoer, is incredibly inflated. It's got a lot of air in the ball, and that's not necessarily a good thing. He played.
Is that a subtle dig at me for being a Patriots fan?
I don't know. You can interpret the way you want, but he coached his entire career at D3, and he was a good coach. D3 came to Washington. Yeah, he did some good things. I think he's there for 2 years, right? 2 years.
I have no idea.
He never really recruited at a high level, and his first year in the college football playoff, he happens to, just fall in the hands of Alabama and sign after the greatest college football coach in history, especially in our lifetimes.
Oh yeah.
But I think this season is shades of 2007, Nick Saban's first year at Alabama. I think Alabama is going to be a fringe playoff team coming into the Iron Bowl, looking for a signature win to make a better argument to enter the college football playoff. I have Auburn winning this one 27-26. I think that with Kalen DeBoer looking for his first signature win of his SEC coaching career, they're going to have the opportunity to tie the ball game late, and instead of going for overtime, he gets a little cute and tries a 2-point conversion, fails.
Wow.
But we were one play away from beating 3 different teams last year. We were 3 plays away from being a 9-win team last year. This year we have a ton more talent. We have a better idea of what Hugh Freeze is going to want to do offensively. We know that his players are going to have more control of the offense on the field. And I think Hugh Freeze really gets his rebuild progress kick started with this season and just carries on the momentum. And I think Auburn gets their best Iron Bowl needed win with this 1-point victory. And Kalen DeBoer's first season replacing Nick Saban. And me, along with everybody else, is saying you want to be the dude. You want to be the replacement for the dude that replaced the GOAT. And Kalen DeBoer, I'm really hoping every fiber of my being that Kalen DeBoer is the next what's his name? The Don Shula. I'm hoping he's the next Don Shula for Alabama and just
Mike Shula. Don Shula was his dad and was an amazing coach for the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, Don Shula coached that 7.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm
Miami
wrong.
Dolphins. Mike Shula is the joke of the family. So I agree with you there. He definitely.
I want him to be the next Mike Shula, and I think it could happen. I really do.
Wow. That's that's an interesting take on the game for sure. Again, you and I make fun of Kalen DeBoer quite a bit. I think he is a big bore for sure. I agree with you. He did not recruit very well in Washington. He did not once win the state of Washington in recruiting battles. He did not have.
Guess what? He's not winning Alabama either.
He's not, but right now they are sitting pretty. They do have a great recruiting class on.
That's because he happens to be the head coach of the most storied college football program in our lifetimes. Alabama's recruiting itself. Kalen DeBoer is not recruiting for Alabama.
Right. Nope. And I hope that you are correct there. I hope that is something that ends up showing itself throughout the history of the world. I think we all will look back on this and say, what a joke Kalen DeBoer actually is. And so, you're not saying anything that I don't agree with. I have a hard time, again, in many of my predictions, man, I've talked about going on the road to someone's house in the SEC is a very tall task. I don't care who the coach is. It is a hard place to win. And
it is.
That's any stadium on the road, not Bryant-Denny in particular. We've talked about it many, many times. I have countlessly said that just because you win at home does not make your home crowd a good home environment. It just means that you win at home and that you are a good team. Good teams win. They don't necessarily have a great home field advantage in some cases. And I think Bryant-Denny is one of them. However, I do not think they're bad enough for Auburn to win. I have Alabama beating Auburn 34-24 in Kalen DeBoer's first Iron Bowl and the first Nick Saban-less Iron Bowl. It was a hard prediction. I just couldn't see it. I think Alabama's offense is going to do really good things this year. I think Kalen DeBoer is an offensive-minded coach for a reason. I think he has had a lot of success because of his offensive mind. And I just see that continuing, especially with a returning starting quarterback who was, as the year went on last year, was getting better and better. And all signs point to him getting better this year. I think they're going to take a step back defensively, and so I think it's going to be a close game. I do. It's a 10-point game. It's a double-digit loss, but it is what it is. I hope I'm wrong, man. I hope I am wrong,
dude. I could not take a double-digit loss to Kalen DeBoering's first season. I think I'd be physically ill if we lost by double digits. Physically ill.
We've constantly talked about the fact that I am the pessimist. I sometimes do reverse jinx stuff, but I do think that I am being prudent here and believing that Auburn is not going to be able to pull off this win, unfortunately. Again, I hope I'm wrong, Josh, but we shall see. So that wraps up the 2024 season for the Auburn Tigers. You have them going a beautiful chef's kiss, 10-2. I have them winning 8 games and losing 4. The graphic should say 4 there, so I apologize to our viewers. That graphic should say 4 losses. Again, I honestly think that I forgot to change it because I am just having a hard time with that last loss myself, and I cannot accept it at this point. So maybe that's what it is.
Regardless, I'd actually be really happy with either one of these schedules. I've had this 10-2 prediction up on X since December of last year. I'm very high on this Auburn team and the rebuild that's happening. But going 8-4 after 6-7, I would be extremely happy with that one.
Yeah. And most people may not know you do run our socials for the most part. We have a little bit of input, myself as well as Brandon, our other brother, who has a lot of contributing factors into this podcast. And we hope that our viewers will get to see more of him as the season goes along.
Yes.
But you pretty much run the socials and do a lot with it. And I've always had a problem with that graphic, to be perfectly honest. Even at our best, I don't see 10-2. I just have a hard time swallowing that right now with this current team. I don't think we're there yet. I hope we are. I hope we do better than both of our records have displayed. I would not argue with that. I would not fault that. I would not be upset with that in the slightest, but I just don't see it. But that wraps up our game previews for the entire year. Go back. Go watch the other previews if you liked what you saw in this one.
Do it.
But
Just
Josh,
do it.
Tell the people how they can find us on our socials. Where can they get us?
Peep us on YouTube, TikTok, and X. We're always uploading something. We got good videos coming out. I'll just post some random stuff, and it'll get really good engagement. And so, I mean, just jump on board with us. Have fun with us. Party. So let's boog a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, hey, let's boog. I know I didn't boog in this episode, but hey,
no,
we tend to boog in this podcast. We really do. And on that bombshell, War Eagle Josh.
War Eagle Cameron.